Hello, everybody. Hope everyone's had a great Christmas and a great New Year's Eve. I hope you guys are enjoying the new year so far. Um, I'm enjoying. I had a great Christmas. I had a great New Year's Eve. I hang out with my friend Colin that day. Stayed over the night at his place, and then then I've been home ever since. You know, so I figured yesterday, I might consider doing a live stream today, and I feel like doing one today. So, figures it's been a while since we hung out together. So why don't we hang out again today? Um, yesterday I saw a really good movie in my opinion. The Iron Claw. I thought it was an excellent film. I thought Zac Efron delivered one of the best performances of his career, and um, I thought it did get sad at times because of what transpired within the family's life. But I thought it was really good. The only issue I had was the guy that portrayed Ric Flair. I thought the dude was absolutely atrocious. I thought the guy was awful. Everything else was great though. The acting overall was tremendous. Um, I thought the acting. Yeah, I thought the acting was tremendous, and the visuals of the movie look good. I mean, it really looked good. I mean, I never really knew much about the Von Erichs until I saw that movie, but it was a really good movie in my opinion. Let's see, only one viewer so far. Well, gotta keep it going. So, how you guys doing? Hmm. I'll type it up in the chat too. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. My family's doing really well. My mother's doing a good job recovering from her vertigo. Hopefully, she gets to 100%, so that way, she can do what she really wants to do. Um, so yesterday I decided I was asked you guys if you wanted me to watch and review my favorite slash most liked entries of the Fox X-Men franchise. And so far, it's been unanimous. You guys want me to, which to me brings joy to my heart because the reason why I'm doing that because of Deadpool 3 is coming out this July, And since Deadpool 3 is arguably my most anticipated movie of the year, not just when it comes to comic book movies, but my most anticipated movie of the year in general, I definitely feel like I want to talk about the things that I really loved and enjoyed from my favorite installments of the Fox X-Men films. And, hopefully you guys watched the Fox X-Men films as well, especially the good ones. The good ones that really stood out the most, the ones that have really stood the test of time and lasted this long in our pop culture, that are still highly regarded movies, not just comic book movies, but movies in general. I those were the movies that, those were the things that, other than the 1992 animated series, that made me a huge fan of the X-Men. You know, all right, so we got three. Okay, now we got two. No. Um, I'm also definitely looking forward to Kung Fu Panda 4. I love the first three Kung Fu Panda movies. I think they're definitely Ghostbusters Afterlife was solid, hit you in the feels with nostalgia and was well done. Hopefully they stick to the close to the source material. Yeah, I hope so too. You know, my dad and I, we did not give a rat's ass about the all-female led Ghostbusters movie from 2016. We all looked at it and we both looked at it and said, "This movie looks like stupid shit. It looks uncreative. It does not look funny to. It did not look funny to us. It looked like hot garbage to us." I know there were those who liked the movie, but to me, I thought it sucked. And I kind of refused to watch it because to me it looked like hot garbage. But the reason why Deadpool 3 is my most anticipated movie of the year because one, it's literally the first legit MCU movie to be rated R. I think it's finally about time the Marvel Cinematic Universe delves deeper to the darker, more mature aspects of the Marvel Comics franchise. And two, most importantly, Hugh Jackman's coming back to do Wolverine. And according to reports, Deadpool 3 is not um I heard he's going to appear in Avengers 5 and 6, so that's a great thing. And as for this comment, I would still have in my top 5 movies of all time. Dude, that is a great choice. The original Ghostbusters from the 1980s is a classic. I mean, you had a great cast. You had Bill fucking Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, may his soul rest in peace, and I believe is Ernie Hudson. That is a great cast. And it was a really it's one of my favorite movies of all time. And I was very happy that when IDW did a crossover between the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the Ghostbusters. I'm like, oh, that's so creative. No, seriously, I literally thought that was so freaking creative and so cool. Like the TMNT kicking ass alongside the Ghostbusters. That was off the chain right there. Like, I still have yet to read the comic version of the Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover, but I hear that was amazing. Plus, I did watch the animated film that came out a few years ago. That was outstanding. That shit was outstanding. Like, I am not gonna deny that shit was outstanding. That was great. I really loved it. Um, I know some people. Pickens. Oh, would you bet $50? Oh shit, Dano, welcome to the stream chat. Would you bet $50 to win $125? 175 total on this happening. Pickens 40 plus yards. Steelers win. Well, the thing is, there's a good majority that the Ravens are going to rest their starters. It's a good chance that the Ravens are going to. I mean, first off, I think most of us can and will agree that sorry about that. I'm just checking my phone. Um, the Ravens to me are the best team in the AFC, if not the best team in football, because they have played extremely well this year. And they beat up on the Lions. They wow, that is a lot of people out, man. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, they destroy the 49ers. I mean, they just manhandled the 49ers, who a lot of people thought um you know, plus the Steelers, even with their starters, the Ravens, let's not forget the Steelers deep beat the Ravens earlier in the season. And even though we can agree that John Harbaugh may in fact be a better coach than Mike Tomlin, even though I do like Mike Tomlin, I think he's a solid above average coach in my opinion. And the fact that he's gone 17 consecutive years without suffering without a losing record, that's pretty damn good. I know there are some Steelers fans that are mixed on him, but I think he's a good enough coach. I'm not saying he's perfect. He definitely has his flaws to him, but the Steelers, more times than not, they win with him. I don't think they win in spite of him. They play for him. They don't play in spite of him. They really like playing for him. You know what I'm saying? And that to me is a good coach in my book. Um, but as I was saying, the Ravens, they've been tremendous this year. I mean, Lamar Jackson has been phenomenal. This is easily, in my opinion, his best season since his MVP season back in 2019. Mason's the Pickens has looked excellent. Yeah, Mason Rudolph has played his ass off coming in for the Steelers, and George Pickens is amazing. George Pickens is absolutely incredible. I mean, he's got very good hands. He's big. He's strong. He's got pretty good speed. He's an excellent wide receiver. The problem is he doesn't get enough targets. You know, he doesn't get enough targets, George Pickens. That's the only problem. But, he didn't get enough targets under. As I said, let me Google my choices. Boom. No problem, man. No need to rush. Oh, you say Joker 2. That one is another one I'm very much looking forward to. I really liked the first Joker movie. That movie really impressed me. I was very much impressed with Joaquin Phoenix's portrayal of his iteration of the Joker. I think he's easily the best Joker we've had on the silver screen since Heath Ledger. May his soul rest in peace. And I'm definitely looking forward to see how Lady Gaga portrays her iteration of Harley Quinn. I personally like Margot Robbie's version. I hope James Gunn keeps her for his run of the DC cinematic universe. But man, Lady Gaga as an iteration of Harley Quinn to me is a very interesting casting choice. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I know a lot of people don't like musicals, but I love musicals. I've been a fan of musicals since I saw Grease. Since I saw Grease on television, and ever since then I fell in love with musicals ever since. Obviously I loved Mary Poppins. I loved a lot of Disney movies. A lot of Disney movies had a lot of music in them, but I absolutely love musicals. Have a real soft spot for them. Boom sounds like saucy pick, and then Dano goes, "My sauce is A1." Hell yeah, baby, it's that important. A1 is that damn important, son. That's where it's at. Man. I also really we got another person in the chat that's in the stream. That's awesome. I really have you ever read? No, I have not actually. I have not read this. I did see bits and pieces of the movie where Liam Neeson voiced the lion. I thought it was okay. I know they made fun of that in, I think it was Epic Movie, which was a stupid, shitty movie in my opinion. But the movie, from what I saw, was okay. I never read the book, so no, I have not. Um, Chronicles of needs to be read. I promise you. The original animated movie was amazing. It was excellent. Yeah, I've heard about that. I have heard about that. The original animated film was incredible. The Chronicles of Narnia needs to be read. It needs to be read. I promise you. I'll see if I can find it. If I can find it somewhere, maybe on my local Barnes and Noble or on Amazon, I might be able to read it for you. But I see Boomtown still rocking that Jermaine Johnson pick. Man, he's had an excellent season. I know he's got only 6.5 sacks, but he's had a lot of big plays this season. Library card, Charles. Library card. Library card? What the hell does that mean? But, oh, don't do Amazon. Okay. Just borrow. Okay. You can argue he's been their most consistent player. Yeah, he has been. Bryce Huff has been great. He's got 8 sacks. Quentin Jefferson has been solid. He's got 6. But Jermaine Johnson, I remember talking about him on one of the Jets creator content. I think it was Jets Talk 24/7, and one dude was unsure about Jermaine Johnson. The guy's been incredible this year. He showed flashes of excellence his rookie season, even though he didn't get a whole lot of playing time, and he did miss some time due to injury. But this year, the man has been on a mission. He's been great against the run. That interception he made on Joe Flacco was amazing. Quentin's been out for a while. I don't know, has he? Well, did he play against the Browns? I'm not sure. One thing I really hurt our defensive line was us losing Al Woods. Al Woods was playing his ass off, and then he hurts himself. I don't think it was against the Eagles. I think it was against the Giants, if I'm not mistaken. December 10th, last Quentin Johnson game. Was that against the fucking Dolphins? Where we got our asses kicked? I think it was the Dolphins game. JJ or Quincy? Quincy has been phenomenal. This is why I fucking hate the Pro Bowl. I think the fucking Pro Bowl is a fucking dick measuring contest. Excuse my profanity. Quincy Williams has established himself as a really good linebacker this season, and he doesn't get rewarded for it. This is so bullshit. Quincy Williams has arguably had, so far to his career, the best season of his career. He's been great in It's a stupid... Exactly. Boomtown, my man, you speaking my language. Can I play devil's advocate? Can I play devil? I'll argue that the most consistent player has been Zach Wilson. And away we go. Oh, my God. No, he has not. He's been inconsistent, but I understand where you're coming from. Johnny Jimenez, what's up? I can't wait to see the Reading Rainbow, the movie. Oh, by the way, Johnny, hold on one sec. If I can find the fucking thing. Excuse my profanity. I finally got a hardcover copy of the book you've always wanted me to read. Here I got it, The Last Ronin. So the next time I decide to do a comic book review poll, I may put this in there. Just to let you all know. Yeah, Johnny, I got it right here, buddy. Do you see it? It cost me about $27 at my local Barnes and Noble. I heard you have a hard J at Johnny Jimenez. Whatever the hell that means. Hell yes, bro. Get ready to be mind blown. Dude, that's what I want. That's what I expect when I read a good comic book. See, I think comic books, and I was actually thinking about doing a video about it, but I'll talk a little bit about this thing. For years now, I've always believed that comic books have been an underrated, underappreciated entertainment material. Um, I'm not saying that people who lean towards the movies are not true fans. That's not what I'm saying. But I think a lot of these people that claim to be hardcore fans of comic books and superheroes gravitate towards more so to the movies than the material that they're based on, because a large majority of these superhero movies are based on the comic books. And, like the Shazam movies, they're based on the comic books. The Spider-Man movies are based on the comic books. And I personally, when I was a kid, obviously what made me a fan of a lot of these characters was television and film, but what helped me understand the characters better was the comic books, because the last name is pronounced Jimenez. He's saying J is silent, my last name. Jimenez, yeah. I was gonna say Jimenez, but I recognize it's pronounced Jimenez. Anyways, um, um, yes, Dano, I do try to get down once in a while. Um, but anyway, I may talk a little bit more about that on a video potentially, but I really love comic books. I've been a fan of comic books since I was a young kid. I read Scooby Doo comic books. I've read Disney comic books. I've read Archie comic books. I love comic books. I think they're an excellent source of reading material. Plus, they help me stay out of trouble. I've always been a fan of comic books. Um, let's see. Um, best comics will Spawn. I have yet to read a fucking Spawn comic. Time to prep for Skins to Bar will be fun. Since I'm there. Good luck, fellas. Thank you, Dana. Have a wonderful day. Spawn, I heard, was fantastic. Like especially the one I heard the original comics, written, drawn by Todd McFarlane, who, in my opinion, is one of the all-time. No, he didn't say Spider-Man. He said Spawn. But yeah, Spawn. Spawn is a great comic. Is a great comic book character. Spider-Man is a legend, although he hasn't been well written in recent years. From what I heard, Zeb Wells has done an atrocious job writing Spider-Man. I haven't read them, but from what I've seen based on YouTube. But Spawn is a fan. Which Spider? The Amazing or the other Spider-Man? They're both great Spider-Man. I mean, plus there's also Spider-Man 2099, Miguel O'Hara. I've read a graphic novel containing several of the original Spider-Man 2099 comics. They are amazing. Peter David is one of my, if not possibly, my favorite comic book writer of all time. He is a great comic book writer. I know he's had some health issues. I know a while ago he had like a heart attack, which thankfully he successfully recovered from. But I'm glad he's doing well. You know what I'm saying? But I really freaking love um, Spider-Man. I've been a fan of him since I was a kid. Um, anything other than Peter Parker means nothing to me. I'm a Looney Tunes. Come on, man. Why you hating? Why you hating, bruh? Ben Riley was a good Spider-Man, even though he's been written terribly in recent years too. Miguel O'Hara is off the chain. I love me some Miguel O'Hara. Um, I love Peter Parker. Don't get me wrong; he's the GOAT Spider-Man. But just because, look, Peter Parker will always be the GOAT Spider-Man in my book. I mean, I like Miles Morales too. He's a great. When he first came on the comic, people hated him because he thought it was like a garbage iteration of Spider-Man, but he really wasn't. He's really not. Granted, he has some similarities to Peter Parker, but he's also his own person. Plus, a lot of his powers are really cool too. So there's that. But I can't wait for when does Beyond the Spider Verse come out? Hold on one second. Oh shit, cancel. Beyond the Sea. When's it coming out? Oh, it's no. Stop screen. No, you're thinking of no, Johnny. You're thinking of Across the Spider Verse. Across the Spider Verse came out last year. The sequel to both Into the Spider Verse and Across the Spider Verse is Beyond the Spider Verse. Charles, did you ever get into those Dragon Lace books? Dragon Lance books, I'm sorry. No, I did not actually. I never got into. I never really heard of those books, nor did I ever get into them. Um, um, but you're right. That was my bad. Don't worry, Johnny. It's all good. Um, but I love the Cross Spider Verse. That was fantastic. Like Oscar Isaac as Spider-Man 2099 was off the chain. If they were to make a live action Spider-Man 2099 movie, they should get Oscar Isaac. I think he would be great. This question. I knew I was going to get this question. I am both. I love Marvel and DC equally. As you could tell, I did my top 10 favorite Marvel Comics heroes, and then later on, I did my top 10 favorite DC Comics heroes. And, I've been a fan of both of these companies since childhood. Obviously, the movies, both their, obviously, Marvel has had more success with their movies within the first 10 plus years of the MCU's existence, but DC, I think, has made some very good to underrated, underappreciated films. Granted, the DCEU is now defunct because of James Gunn and everything. I more DC, I like how, yeah, but Marvel can get pretty dark too. Like, there are some really dark aspects of Marvel. But yeah, I do agree that DC can be a bit darker than Marvel from time to time. But I really love the DC universe because of how inspirational a lot of their heroes can be. And the same can be said for Marvel too. Marvel has a lot of inspirational heroes too. And they have both universes to me have very relatable characters you can have a personal connection with, which I think is really cool and awesome. Um I really, really like one of my favorite DC comics characters that you guys may not be familiar with is Captain Atom. He's a really cool character. Like if James Gunn was to bring in Alan Ritchson, the guy that plays Jack Reacher on the Amazon Prime series that also played Aquaman on Smallville. I can definitely see him as Captain Nathaniel Adam. Captain Adam is super fucking powerful. Some people have argued he may in fact be more powerful than Superman, which to me is crazy, but that's not really a bad argument to make considering how versatile and extremely powerful Captain Adam can be. I also like one of my favorite Marvel characters that whose Disney Plus is in development is Wonder Man. Wonder Man's a really cool character. He's a really cool ass character, very underrated and appreciated. I'd say he's way more underrated than Ben Grimm. He's the most powerful in both universes. Who are you talking about? Captain Atom is not more powerful than, well, I think him and Silver Surfer will make an interesting matchup, but Captain Atom is super powerful. He's really powerful. Um, um, but then what I was saying was Wonder Man. I know what you're talking about, but which character are you talking about, Johnny? Um, because um, Wonder Man's really good. He's actually going to be portrayed by the guy who played Black Manta in the Aquaman movies, Yahya Abdul-Mateen. And I think he could do a really good job. You know what I'm saying? I think he could do a really good job as that character. I love him as Black Manta. I think first of all, Black Manta, as far as I'm concerned, is an amazing villain. And I'm not just saying because how he was done in the movies. I think Black Manta in general, especially in the comic books, is one of the greatest comic book supervillains of all time. I really honestly believe so. I mean, this dude is so evil. I mean, he killed Aquaman's infant son, Aquababy, by putting him in a bubble full of air and suffocating the child to death. I'm not exaggerating. He did that in the comic books. And it was so fucked up. Not only did it traumatize Aquaman, it caused Aquaman to develop a vengeful attitude towards Black Man. Like, he literally wanted to kill Aquaman. Aquaman literally wanted to kill Black Manta, and it even caused a massive strain on his marriage to Mira. Oh, what did you think of Blue Beetle? I think it's a fucking underrated movie. That movie did the trailers and the marketing. I'm glad you asked me this. The marketing and the trailers for the Blue Beetle movie were fucking garbage. But if you actually go see the movie itself, it's fucking amazing. The CGI, the visuals, the special effects, the comedy, the action, the majority of the characters are really fucking good. Yes, it's a stereotypical comic book superhero movie, but it was good. The only issue I had with the movie was Susan Sarandon's character. She sucked. And I love Susan Sarandon. She's an amazing actress. But her character was so fucking terrible. It's like, she's just a stereotypical evil bitch. Fuck her, I don't care. Yeah, Boomtown, it is dark. Comic books during the Bronze Age of comic books started to get darker again because, because during the Silver Age, writers and artists and creators didn't really have a whole lot of creative freedom. How they brought back Ted Kord, yeah, that was great. I was like, Hollywood writers suck now? That's kind of true. I mean, a lot of the times they put a lot of woke garbage into their shit, which really isn't necessary, but I wouldn't say they all suck. A lot of them are really good. But as for this, and how they brought back Ted Kord was such a cool thing, yes, that was what I was looking forward to, because Ted Kord is probably my favorite Blue Beetle. As much as I like Jaime, I may actually like Ted Kord more. But hopefully, James Gunn, when he does his run of the DC Cinematic Universe, he brings Zolo Monwerna back as Jaime Reyes, and he brings back the actor that's playing Ted Kord. Because for those who don't know, Ted Kord was the second Blue Beetle. And he was the one that, like Batman, like Iron Man, like Green Arrow, relies on his wealth, intelligence, natural resources, and his own skill set to fight crime. And he was one of the most likable heroes in the DC universe. Like, he got along with everybody, including Batman. Like everyone loved Ted Kord. He was such a cool, like he's like one of those heroes you like to fight alone, like you like to go to a bar and have a nice drink with, sit down and just chill with. You know what I'm saying? However, when they decided to kill him off in the sacrifice storyline, that shit was crazy. You know, what Maxwell Lord did to Ted Kord was so fucked up. It was unbelievable. Like it was so unbelievable. But yeah, going back to Boomtown though, Hollywood writers do tend to suck now because A, they tend to be lazy. Justice League or Super Friends? Oh my god. Well, the Super Friends was my introduction to the DC Comics franchise. But if I would say which was the better animated series, I gotta go with Justice League or Justice League Unlimited. That was the shit right there. That was the shiznit. Super Friends is great though, but if people look at it, it didn't really do Aquaman the best because there were some scenes in the Super Friends cartoons where Aquaman would be riding on jet skis. I'm like, why is Aquaman riding on jet skis? He's fucking Aquaman. He doesn't need jet skis. But um, but going back to Boomtown, as I was saying, yeah, writers tend to suck nowadays because they're lazy. They don't put a lot of creativity and originality into their stuff, and they tend to put a lot of woke stuff. Do you think they will ever reset Green Lantern and make it properly? Yeah, I trust James Gunn. I trust him. I think he's a great director and writer. He knows what the hell he's doing. Because the 2011 Green Lantern movie with Ryan Reynolds was bad. And I like Ryan Reynolds. I think he's a very talented individual. And I like Blake Lively. She's a very beautiful woman. She's a very talented actress. But my God, that movie freaking sucked. I'm like, as I'm watching it on television, I'm like, I'm so glad I didn't see this shit in theaters because I probably would have fucking lost my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, same thing when I saw the 2015 Fantastic Four movie on my computer, one of my old computers. I'm like, if I saw this in theaters, I would have probably pulled a Heath Ledger Joker where I would just blow the motherfucker up. Because that's how bad the 2015 Fantastic Four movie was. It was that fucking bad. But yes, I definitely do think they will make Green Lantern better. You know what's funny? When I watch Black Adam again, you know, the DCEU movie with Dwayne Johnson, I was like, you know, the lineup wasn't terrible, but they should have added more members. I would have loved to seen a guy play Alan Scott Green Lantern. You know, the original Green Lantern. The guy whose weakness is wood. I'm not kidding. Like, for those who don't know, the original Green Lantern, Alan Scott's weakness is not the color yellow. It's actually wood, you know, 2x4, you know, wood. And he's actually a very good character, though, Alan Scott. I know he got a lot of flack that when this new 52 version came out as gay, but who the hell cares? But he's still a great character. You know, some people regard him as the greatest Green Lantern of all time, as the greatest Earth Green Lantern of all time. He's definitely in the conversation, but yes, Boomtown, I think they will definitely do Green Lantern properly. I trust James Gunn and Peter Safran. They are intelligent people. But what really pissed me off is that people refuse to give them a chance because, you know, I get it. We want what we want. We're entitled to our opinions and stuff, but give people a chance. It's one thing to not give someone a chance. I understand you have to be willing to give someone a chance, but you still have to give these people a chance. Because I can tell that James Gunn really cares about the fans. I can tell he really cares about the fans. Like, he understands what the fans want. And what the fans want is good content. Consistently good content, really good originality and creativity, really good storytelling, really good character development, and no woke bullshit. You know? That's what made the first 10 plus years of the Marvel Cinematic Universe so good. It had great writing, great character development, great characterization, great originality and creativity. and no woke bullshit. That's what made him great. And this year they gotta fucking put this bullshit in there. Like, who the fuck cares? The reason why we get so much into this stuff is to escape a lot of the bullshit going on in reality. We don't need the woke bullshit. We don't need to be pandered. Let me see if I'm still on YouTube. Yeah, I'm still on. Just want to make sure I'm still airing on YouTube. Another thing that really has pissed me off over the MCU is they're not putting a lot of effort into their stuff. Like, that's another thing that made the MCU great within its first 10 plus years of existence. It was the effort they put into it. And that's what really drives me insane, was the effort. Was the effort that they didn't put into it. I'm sorry, the effort that they put into it. That's what made the first... Hold on. There we go. The first 10 plus years of the MCU so damn good was that the writers, the directors, the producers put in a lot of freaking effort into this stuff. And that's what I liked about Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League. Was it perfect? Well, did I think it was a perfect film? No, but I can tell that Zack Snyder put a lot of hard work and effort into his rendition of the Justice League film. Did I like it? Absolutely. I freaking loved it. I thought it was a very good movie. But, what I think what hurt Zack Snyder's, universe within the DC Extended Universe was that there were too many creative differences. There were too many chefs in the kitchen. And then Warner Brothers was like, look, Zack, we got to catch up with Marvel because Marvel's got their own thing. How about no? Fucking run your own goddamn race. Don't worry about what Marvel's doing. Snyder is a genius. He's very intelligent. He's a very intelligent guy. And he seems like a real classy person, too. What Josh Whedon did to the theoretical version of the Justice League film was fucking disgraceful. Christopher Nolan, who's arguably one of the best directors of all time, and I think he's very close friends with Zack Snyder, he told Zack Snyder, and I quote, he and Zack Snyder's wife, Deborah, told him to not watch what Josh Whedon did with his movie, because it would have broke his heart. Josh Whedon, the guy that gave us Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the astonishing X-Men comic book series, and the first two Avengers movies, all this of pop culture classics, and Josh Whedon gives us a dumpster fire of a movie, an absolute abomination. I like Zack Snyder as a director. I don't exactly love the dude's stuff. I've heard a lot of bad things about his theoretical version of Rebel Moon. I heard that rendition of Rebel Moon was terrible. But I did love Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League. I loved Man of Steel. I enjoyed, for the most part, Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, especially the Ultimate Edition. And probably my top two favorite Zack Snyder movies of all time is Watchmen and 300. Those movies to me are fucking masterpieces. But I did hear that his Dawn of the Dead movie is probably his best film, and that James Gunn wrote the movie while Zack Snyder directed. I think Zack Snyder's a good director. I know a lot of people don't like him. I know as soon as you say Zack Snyder, oh, fuck him. He's all visual substance and no substance and no style, no substance. There we go. Which I have to disagree with. I think he's a damn good director. But he is a very talented individual, Zack Snyder. I mean, a lot of his visuals are very good. I heard his Guardians movie was okay. I know a lot of people say his worst movie was Sucker Punch, but I have heard some people did like it. But I don't know. I may or may not checked out that movie. But back to the point at hand here. I'm actually glad Zack Snyder got to do his kind of the Just League film because I think he got screwed over. I think Warner Brothers did him dirty. I think Josh Whedon showed no regard, no respect for his vision, and basically took a giant steamy shit all over it. And plus, from what I've heard, even those that worked with him on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, he was very rude, he was very perverted, and that he was very aggressive with a lot of the actors and staff on set, which to me is disgraceful. And if you heard what people say, Josh Whedon may be the more talented writer and better writer and director, but Zack Snyder is the better person as far as I'm concerned. I have yet to hear anyone come out and say, Zack Snyder's a horn dog, Zack Snyder's a pig, Zack Snyder's an asshole, Zack Snyder's, a piece of shit person. You have yet to hear those things. And that to me is important. Because, people may, you're not only judged for your talent, but you're judged for your character / personality. And Zack Snyder, for what I've seen and from what I've heard, seems like a very classy individual. Granted, I could care less about his politics, but from what I've heard, he's a very nice man. And that to me means something. No, that's not what I'm saying. Like, when I'm saying Boomtown, what I meant to say is, I'm not talking about Snyder, I'm talking about Josh Whedon. Josh Whedon, from what I've heard, is a horn dog. Not Zack Snyder, my apologies. I should have been more specific. I never said Zack Snyder I meant Josh Whedon. Josh Whedon, for what I heard, Zack Snyder, I never heard that. So, sorry if I confused you there, buddy. That's what I said. Josh Whedon, the guy that did Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Astonishing X-Men, the first two Avengers films. The guy's perverted. The guy's a horn dog. Guy's very aggressive with those on set. That's the opposite of Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder seems very reserved, very classy, very professional. Oh, another movie I really liked from Zack Snyder was called Army of the Dead. That's with Dave Bautista. That movie I personally liked. That I thought was. Oh yes, ask Charisma Carpenter. Who the hell is she? Oh wow, she was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Oh my god. You got to be fucking me. I just looked this up. I just looked this shit up. It says that I just looked this up on Wikipedia that according to her side of the story, that Josh Whedon dismissed her because she was pregnant on set at one point because she was pregnant. Oh my god. What an asshole. What a fucking asshole Josh Whedon is. And I said, this guy is a tremendous talent. This guy is a tremendous talent. As I said, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Astonishing X-Men comic series. First two Avengers films. That was the tame part. Yeah, I know. And it's such a fucking shame, too. But, I'm glad Ray Fisher, even though I wasn't really crazy about. But do that reading after the show. Yeah, I know that was terrible. But another thing is that if you go watch the theatrical cut of Justice League, You don't get any backstory of Cyborg. Like, his backstory was completely taken out of the fucking film. You don't really get much of a backstory. Like, it was just so fucking bad. Like, what Josh Whedon did with that movie was so fucking bad. But what Josh Whedon, let me tell you something, man. When I saw the scene and what happened to Cyborg's mom, I was like, oh my god. Part of me was tearing up. Part of me was tearing the fuck up. Like, I was just like, oh my god. She was talking to her son about how much his father loves him and everything. Then all of a sudden, some fucking asshole just blindsided them, and it was so fucking bad. Oh my god. But do that reading after the show. So but yeah, Snyder plus I'm not really picky when it comes to directors. I mean, I know Steven Spielberg's a legend. I know Christopher Nolan is a legend. I know Peter Jackson's a legend. I know Ron Howard's a legend. Like, there's so many great directors out there. But I don't really. It's not like I'm one of those movies where it's like, oh, this guy's directing this movie. I'm not gonna watch it. I don't like this dude. Like, I'm not really picky when it comes to directors. But I know. But if there was one director I don't really give two shits about, it's Michael Bay. I'm not crazy about Michael Bay. Did you ever a Firefly? I just looked it up. Firefly seems interesting, and I love Nathan Fillion. You know, have you ever heard of the series called Castle? That was, from one of the episodes that I watched, that was a very good series. And for those who don't know, Nathan Fillion's going to play Guy Gardner Green Lantern, easily my least favorite Green Lantern of all time, and one of my least favorite superheroes of all time, in Superman Legacy. Nathan Fillion's a very good actor. Obviously, he was great as the detached kid in the new Suicide Squad, directed by James Gunn. And I'm not gonna lie, the scenes with him in it was freaking hilarious. And I did love him when he played one of the guards in that prison, not that prison, but in that special. I forgot that place where they had to go to in Guard of the Galaxy Volume 3. That was really good too. But yeah, Josh Whedon's a fucking asshole. Um, but I really um, if there was one director slash writer that I've always liked, was Sam Raimi. You know, the guy that did the Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire, and he directed the most recent. Charles, you will not be disappointed with Firefly. It is a sci-fi cult classic. Oh, I'm sure I will. I'm sure it is a classic. I know it's on. I just looked it up. It's on. I know it's available on Hulu. I may check that out. But what I will say, as I was saying, if there was one writer director I'll most likely always love, it's Sam Raimi. I mean, he was part of the production crew behind Hercules: The Legendary Journeys with Kevin Sorbo. He was behind the production crew behind Xeno Warrior Princess with Lucy Lawless. And of course, he directed the original Spider-Man trilogy with Tobey Maguire. And he directed probably one of my personal favorite installments of, I think, either Phase 4 or 5 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I really enjoyed that movie, and Sam Raimi to me is a fantastic writer director. And from what I've heard, he's a very nice guy too. Gets along with staff members, and that's a good thing. Speaking of you, since you like Zack Snyder, Boomtown, what's your favorite Zack Snyder movie? Mine is Watchmen. And as a matter of fact, Watchmen is easily one of my top 5 favorite comic books / superhero movies of all time. Ooh, great call on Sam Raimi. And I agree, Michael Bay is widely overrated. Oh, hell yeah. Sam Raimi, this is a guy, and I did watch, and I know he didn't direct it, but I know he produced it. I was finally able to watch, this was a few years ago, Ash vs. Evil Dead with Bruce Campbell. Holy shit, was that awesome. Like, I'm not really the horror, but if it's action horror, I'll watch it. That shit was good. And Sam Raimi, I think, is a genius. I think the man knows his stuff. If you go look on Sam Raimi, what he did with Spider-Man, especially the first 2 films. I know a lot of people still like to shit on Spider-Man 3. I'd still say, oh, really? 3? I'm sorry, hold on. I'm going all over the place here. I apologize. OCD much. But Sam Raimi, I understand he really takes a lot of liberties with the comic books, and that to me is a good thing. Takes a lot of stuff from the comic books, which to me is awesome. And plus, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness, Charlize Theron comes in a mid-credit scene as Doctor Strange's wife from the comic books, Clea. And I gotta tell you, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of got quite a bit of crush on Charlize Theron. Not only do I think she's a great actress, but man, is she one sex bomb. One hot sex symbol. I think she's fucking gorgeous. Anyway, you said your favorite Zack Snyder movie is 300. That is a freaking great movie. 300 is great. Gerard Butler really kicked some serious ass in that movie. Obviously, when we think of Gerard Butler, we think of him as King Leonidas in that movie, and we think of the part where he tells one of the Persian assholes, "This is Sparta," and thrust kicks him down a fucking well to his death. That was badass. Like, that is badass right there. But I love 300. 300 is a phenomenal movie. But as I said, I think Zack Snyder is a tremendous talent. I just think, I understand that not everyone thinks he's great, which is understandable. But everyone has the right to their opinion. Another director that I really like, who's another director that I do like? Tim Burton. The guy that gave us, Beetlejuice, which I know some of y'all are going to hate me for this. I have yet to see it in its entirety. I've seen clips of it on YouTube. Looks great, but I haven't seen it. But I love his Batman movies with Michael Keaton. He didn't direct it, but I love The Nightmare Before Christmas, which is fantastic. And, God damn. Did he do... Oh, really? Batman, yes. Batman 1989 is by far my personal favorite Batman movie. I know some people go with The Dark Knight from 2008 that starred Heath Ledger's Joker, which, don't get me wrong, The Dark Knight's an amazing movie, but I also think it's very overrated. And people, when they say overrated, like, oh, overrated, that means bad, right? No, it means overrated just means overrated. Bad is, if I say overrated and bad, that's another story. But I love Tim Burton. I really do. I heard his Dumbo movie wasn't that great, but I may check it out in the near future. But I do like Tim Burton a lot. What's another one of my favorite directors that I did like watching? Steven Spielberg's a legend. Ron Howard. Fuck, who else? Not Michael Bay, no.
Oh boys, it's coming down.
Trying to think.
So much for a dusting, guys. This isn't a dusting.
I'm trying to think. Shit.
So much for a dusting.
Oh, God. George Lucas, I mean, I know he did the original Star Wars. Oh, probably the greatest scene in any Batman movie was the. Oh, that was a great scene. That truly was a great scene, my friend. With Batman and the crush, that back and forth was epic. Yeah, it was a great scene. But don't get me wrong, that is an amazing scene. But probably my favorite Batman scene in any Batman movie was the warehouse scene in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. The way Batman took out those guys and looked at those criminals in the warehouse was dope. And despite the killing, I know a lot of people bitched about Ben Affleck's Batman killing, which I said, which to some degree was justified. But anyway, the way he was taking them down, the way he was fighting, like Batman was more thorough in his fighting style and gadgets in that scene than I've seen in any Batman movie. But the one with Christian Bale's Batman and Heath Ledger's Joker in the interrogation room was phenomenal. That is one of my favorite Batman scenes of all time. It's a great point. Yeah, I was saying that. Yeah, like Ben Affleck's Batman, the way he was fighting, using his skills, like throwing people against the wall, using his hook to on a crane, using his hook to draw people in. Like that's reminiscent of like the Batman Arkham games. Like Batman uses his back on. He's like Scorpion, get over here. Like that's so badass. And plus, I also like the beginning fight scene in the Batman with Robert Pattinson. And I did say this not here, but on the forums, that his fighting style was very reminiscent of Ben Affleck's Batman, where how brutal and thorough he was beating the shit out of him. Not to the point where he was killing them, but the way he was taking them out with the kicks and the punches and the throws and all that stuff, that was badass. But the one with Heath Ledger's Joker was great. I mean, Heath Ledger, may his soul rest in peace. He was a great Joker. But honestly, I know this may be an unpopular opinion to a lot of people, but my favorite live action Joker of all time will always be Jack Nicholson. I'm a huge Jack Nicholson fan. I think Jack Nicholson's one of the all time great actors. And, his Joker to me will always be the cream of the crop when it comes to live action Jokers. Now, when it comes to voice acting, it's easy. It's Mark Hamill. Okay, when I think of the voice of the Joker, other than his iteration of Luke Skywalker in the Star Wars movies, I think of Mark Hamill. Like, don't get me wrong, there have been other good voice actors that have voiced the Joker, but to me, none of them will come close to how badass and epic Mark Hamill's Joker voice is. Like, his Joker voice to me is one of the most great things. It was one of the great pop culture icons of all time. And it's just that damn good, in my opinion. And let's see what I'm trying to think of other good directors out there. Oh shit. Christopher Nolan, Sam Raimi, Tim Burton, Christopher Nolan, Peter Jackson, Steven Spielberg. Gotta run, Charles. No problem, man. Have a good day. So, what's another fucking great? There's so many like great. I'll be right back, guys. You did make me on my birthday. No, I'm sorry. Make on my birthday, which you delivered. Make of me, which you haven't checked. Yes. Like, again. So anyway, whew. That was a thing. Yeah, I know. What the way he was. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's see if the Steelers are playing right now. Oh, well, they're playing at 4:30. I may watch that. Well, guys, it was fun. I may check out the Steelers game soon. So, it's a pleasure hanging out with you guys, and peace out.